I'm going to talk about entrepreneurship and specifically benchmarking. So what's benchmarking? Benchmarking is analyzing your competitors. So competitive advantage, competitive analysis, looking at your competitors' strengths and weaknesses. This is about benchmarking. So the first step is to define who are your competitors and list them into two types of categories, the direct competitors and the indirect competitors. Then looking at their strengths and weaknesses, that's the minimum you want to do. So here I have a list of another 9 elements that you should be looking at. Identify what are their objectives, so you evaluate, you try to guess their objectives, you try to guess which strategy they're following. Then you also want to identify what are who are their targets. So what kind of customers are they focusing on? What methods of targeting are they using? Then you define what is their positioning. So identifying the positioning is not too difficult because brands and companies constantly are trying to communicate about what they should be known for, what do they mean. So they communicate their positioning. So guessing what's their positioning is just essentially looking at least 3 points of communication and finding the connection between these 3 points. If you have more time and more resources, you look at more than 3 points, and eventually you'll be able to see what's their positioning. Then you analyze their prices. And you analyze their prices because you try to understand their markup, you try to understand their margins, you try to understand if they are making profits, you try to understand how they incentivize, if they have promotions, if they have discounts, and all of this you should be analyzing. Then you look where do they sell. So the distribution areas where they are the strongest, who are their distributors, what retailers, what location are they talking about their products, selling their products. So you want to see if they're selling themselves, if they use many intermediaries, if they use few intermediaries, if they sell mostly in one area more than trying to sell in multiple areas. Do they have a lot of trade leverage, which means are they able to bargain with the distributors? Maybe they own some of the distribution themselves. And then there's a list of things that's very important is you look at to see how often do they innovate, how much do they innovate, if they ever innovate, what kind of R&D do they do? So oftentimes you don't know the R&D, but you have to sort of guess estimate the R&D. How do you guess estimate this? Again, is by looking at their communication. You review their product line and you do like a BCG matrix of their product line. So doing a BCG matrix is looking at what are the most attractive markets and what is their market share. So you do a BCG matrix for your company, so you may as well do it for your competitors, and then you see which product you're competing the most within the market in terms of growth and appeal. Then you look at how many, again, how many new products have they launched? How many products are they known for? What is your estimated market share that your competitors have? Then you look at how much communication do they do? Where do they communicate? Which channel do they use the most? Which media? What's the season, the time? What's the evolution of their communication? And then you look at their relationship with their intermediaries, in particular their suppliers, but also whoever might be that they use in order to get some trade leverage. So maybe they have trade leverage because of some kind of distribution company they work with, a big retailer, or maybe some kind of influencer, or maybe some kind of specific staff that they may have that becomes an influencer or eventually becomes available to be hired. So benchmarking is very important to do it in your industry, but you can also do it across other industries to learn from other industries. So you are in an industry of the motorcycle, but you could also look at the industry of transportation or the industry of engineering or the car industry or some other industries that may have some common grounds. And then you also may want to look at doing some kind of benchmarking with other countries where there may be trends that are happening earlier than in your own home market, and you may be able to anticipate and make decisions to be ahead in your market by learning from the trends and the timing of other markets. I always like to recommend this kind of table, which is a table where you can see the competitive advantage. So it shows the features of your product and your competitors' features, and it really easily identify what are your strengths. And so this is a model of competitor analysis, that is used oftentimes in order to show the advantages of your company. So it's a one slide that says a lot about your position and who are your competitors and where you are beating them on what specific attributes. So it explains somehow your positioning, it explains your product quality, it explains a lot of different things. Maybe you can talk about innovation by discussing the new things that you're doing in order to be superior than your competitors.